to the weekly recap. I'm Matt Wacker. Businesses in the West Plains community are using several means to help those affected by last month's flood. Ben Gronowski returns this week to show us how one business is doing so in a very delicious way.
Thank you, Matt. I'm here with Nadine Gunter of the Spring Dipper here in West Plains. And Nadine, pleasure for having you here with us today. I appreciate you taking time out of your day. First off, tell us a little bit about the Spring Dipper.
Well, I'm a small family-owned ice cream shop on the east side of town, right next to Heroes Coffee. That's kind of about it, you know.
Okay, and I understand from us talking earlier, all your ice cream's homemade, is that right?
Yes, sir.
So, do you get to control the flavors, or how does that process work out?
It's kind of like whatever we feel like doing, but we kind of go with public, like what they want.
Well, that's cool. Earlier this week, you stopped by the high school for a special event. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
We did a fundraiser at the high school on, was it Monday, I think? And there's been a whole bunch of flooding recently, and we put together a fundraiser to support families that have lost, everything or just a few things, or just to help out the community.
Well, that's really cool of you, and I'm assuming that went pretty well?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. It would have been better if there was seniors still in school, but it was still a good event.
Well, that's good. As we wrap things up here, are there any events that we should be on the lookout for that we can find the Spring Dipper at?
I have the car show coming up in June. It's June 10th. It's at the Civic Center. They do it every year. We'll be there, and then other than that, we'll be here at the shop.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it, and for the ice cream. And with that, back to you, Matt.
If your business is planning on holding an event to help those affected, contact us and we'll help you spread the word. Likewise, if your business suffered damage, Fidelity wants to provide you with a free commercial. Just call the number on your screen for more details. Early in the morning on May 15th, West Plains Police were approached by High School Athletics Director Greg Simpkins with a report of vandalism. The Zizzer logo from the middle of the football field had been cut away and stolen. On the evening of May 16th, the logo was returned to the field after Superintendent Dr. John Mulford was contacted by 3 students admitting to the act. After meeting with the students and their parents, Mulford says that a resolution was reached and that no criminal charges will be filed. Following last week's City Council meeting in Lebanon, where Mayor Josh Ray called for City Administrator Chris Hurd to step down, an online petition has launched for the same reason. Hurd is under fire for allegedly attempting to undermine the authority of the mayor by introducing an ordinance that would give the power of appointment to the city administrator. The petition currently has 59 signatures. The goal stands at 100. If successful, the petition will be delivered to Ward 4 Council representatives for a further decision. You can learn a lot about history from an old building. Leanne attended Old Mill Days to tour a historic Missouri grist mill and experience what life was like in the early 20th century.
Matt, I'm standing in front of the old mill down here at Montauk State Park. I'm talking to Luke Johnson. He's the assistant superintendent here at the park. Luke, tell me a little bit about this historic building.
Sure. This is a historic grist mill. It was built in 1896, ran for about 30 years or so. And you grind both corn and wheat in this building when it was in operation. Inside the historic mill is basically we have quite a bit of equipment. These here are basically the roller mills used for grinding wheat. In the back of the mill is actually a corn grinding apparatus, and so you'd actually use the 2 different sides to actually grind either wheat or corn, depending on what you're wanting to grind.
Was any of this equipment here during the days of the operation of this exact mill?
Yes, actually all of this is mostly original to the type. The actual equipment, like the roller mills, were moved out in World War II, but we've gotten some of those back. They're not original to the building, but there is quite a bit of equipment upstairs that is original to the building. So the equipment on the second floor is basically all the cleaning equipment. You'd bring in your grain. It'd be brought up to the second floor using elevators, little small shafts throughout the building, and it'd be dropped in each of these pieces of equipment, kind of cleaned through different processes. This equipment is actually original to the building itself from when it was first constructed. As you can tell, there's no way to get this equipment in or out. Basically, the building was built around it. The building's use has been changed over time, but some of this equipment has stayed exactly where it was before it got moved. The old store is around the 1860s and forward. You would actually barter, and so in the local area here, we'd actually have about 3 general stores, which is where milling around the term kind of came from. So people would come and have their grain ground into flour, and then they would actually take that flour and trade it at the general stores. Money was actually not really used that much in the 1800s. The scale is actually original to the building. This actually still works, surprisingly. So I mean, it's almost over. It's over 100 years old. You're standing here. It's a counterbalance to actually weight on this side. And then you're just going to slide this over until it comes off the bar.
Just like the scale at your doctor's office, kind of.
Yeah, just like it, yep.
What is the inspiration behind the old mill days down here at the park?
Sure. The old mill days is basically bringing the past to the future. So during the 30 years of operation from 1896 to 1927 that the mill was in operation, we're basically bringing the historic skills and crafts of that time back into the future so people are able to see exactly how it was to live in a time in this area in the Ozarks. Tomorrow we open up to the public, but Friday is really all about the school kids, letting them come out and actually experience hands-on some of these skills that most of us don't even remember exist.
Commencement season is in full swing around the area. We began in Thayer, where 39 students walked across the stage and received diplomas on May 6th, led by valedictorian Bailey Bennett. The Missouri S&T class of 2017 graduated May 13th, and the commencement address was given by Stephanie O'Sullivan, the former Deputy Director of National Intelligence. Sullivan is an alum of Missouri S&T. She spoke on the willingness of people to tackle big challenges and encouraged grads to consider careers in public service. Sullivan said that the world needs people who can, quote, create a different future, who understand how to wield technology to solve problems, who see the world as it is, but are capable of materially helping to make it better. 247 students were part of the West Plains graduating class, with commencement ceremonies held May 12th. Principal Jack Randolph spoke about the class as, quote, something we can be proud of, citing the 150 students who arrived to help clean the school campus following last month's historic flooding. Of the graduates, a dozen were named Bright Flight Scholars, with 152 completing the A-plus program. To date, the 2017 class has received a total of $7.5 million in scholarships. 338 graduated from Lebanon High School on May 12th as well. Unfortunately, Fidelity 6 was unable to bring this one to you in its entirety, so please enjoy this brief look at the ceremony, courtesy of Luke Keene.
I'm truly honored to be the principal of Lebanon High School, home to more than 1,400 Yellow Jackets, including the 338 outstanding seniors who will soon receive their high school diploma. Our hope was to help each one of you answer 3 critical questions. Who am I? Where am I going? And how am I going to get there? $3.5 million awarded in scholarships to nearly 100 students. It's no wonder that the class of 2017 is destined for greatness. Graduation is a time to relish the fruits of the past achievements, a time to reflect and a time to look forward with great anticipation. Now, it is my distinct honor to introduce our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. David Schmitz.
But I want to talk a little bit about what it means to have a milestone in your life, because this is indeed a milestone. As you pass a milestone, the culmination of many years of hard work on your behalf, and it's one to remember. Commencement doesn't mean that. When I look that term up, I see beginning, I see first, I see kickoff, and one of my most favorite terms I saw related to commencement is showtime.
The sound of one makes soldiers. This is the sound of one voice. This is the sound of one voice. The
please rise. Class of 2017, I love you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pride and joy that I present to you for the very first time the graduated class of 2017.
Now for an update to a story we brought you long ago. 29-year-old Rottleman Joshua Toole has pled guilty to the 2015 murder of Daniel Hunter. On May 22nd of that year, Rolla 911 received a call from the then-girlfriend of Toole, who said the man was on his way to kill her ex-husband, Daniel Hunter. When officers arrived on the scene, they found Toole standing over the body of Hunter with a gun on a nearby table. Hunter was pronounced dead at the scene. Toole's sentencing hearing is set for June 19th. The Phelps County Sheriff's Department was involved in a car chase on May 10th. Deputies attempted to stop a car on the corner of County Road 5285 and Highway 72. As they approached the car, the suspects fled. A pursuit followed, continuing south on Highway 63 until the suspects ran off the road in the 21,000 block of South 63. The occupants abandoned the vehicle and attempted to flee on foot before being apprehended. The driver was 37-year-old Eric Floyd of Springfield. He was arrested for outstanding warrants in Greene and Polk counties and was charged with 2 counts of first-degree assault, resisting arrest, unlawful possession of a firearm, and driving while revoked. His passenger was also arrested and charged with 2 counts of firearm possession. The Rolla National Airport will soon have a new terminal. The building is part of the master plan for the city's aviation facility. Leanne Mentink reports.
We're standing here in this beautiful building, the new terminal building, here on the grounds. Tell me a little bit specifically about this building.
Well, this building was built for more of the corporate deal. Now, everybody, all of our general aviation is going to be using it. It's 2,500 to 2,600 square feet. It's right in the middle somewhere. We have a pilot lounge for our corporate guys that can come in and take a break and relax after their flight while their passengers are off doing their business. We have a flight planning area for all the pilots, general aviation, business, corporate, whatever they need. We have a conference room for anybody that needs it, and then we've got the FAA and some of their business air.
Okay. Tell me how this airport serves the community here.
Well, the community's been here since, or the airport's been here since 1942 when it was built by the Army Air Company that come in, and the city took over, I believe it was in the 50s. A lot of private individuals have their planes here, but now over the years we've got companies going. We have Barron Aviation, which is kind of over behind our building here out of sight, but that's Federal Express. We've had First Class Air Services move in, and they're doing a 135 operation, which is air charter, so you can charter a plane, go anywhere in the world that you'd like to. We have the National Forestry up here now that is serving the Mark Twain National Forest. They come in the spring and they do the fire patrols. They're here.
I know that this building is just part of an overall plan that the city has for the airport. Tell me a little bit about the history and where we're going with the timeline for that master plan.
Okay, we've upgraded it since I started in 2010 as the manager. We've upgraded the water system. We took it out of the 1940s up to a nice water tower that we have here now. When I got here in 2010, it was still 1940s water system. I mean, it was cast iron pipes. You turned it on, leave the water on for 30 minutes, and the sink would run red. So we've done some serious, I think it was $2.5 million in upgrades in water and sewer to help the airport become more and more up to date. Nowadays, since 9/11, general aviation's changed, and a lot of your corporate businesses don't do airlines anymore. They come right straight into the community. We have a couple of runways that are long enough for them to land their jets, different sizes.
There's a real connection between the economy and the airport. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes, we have, like Kingsford Charcoal is down here between us and Bell, and their corporate jet, which is a Citation, comes in here and drops their executives off. And then we have a banker that's got a bank in Rolla that comes in 2 or 3 times a month that does their accounting there. Then we have Rolla West coming in, and all those companies will be flying in, like Menards will be moving in, their corporate jet will probably be in. We have Kroger's, they fly in once or twice a year. Walmart flies in, especially since St. James Walmart Distribution's down there. We've had several companies come in and look and see what's going on at Rolla, see what the links are, and they came in and they could land their Falcon 9000, and it's nowadays that's part of the deal. So we're trying to catch up with the times and make the airport look more professional.
Matt, back to you.
Finally, in what seems like a scene out of a modern-day Seinfeld episode, a Texas man is suing a woman he went on a date with for the price of a movie ticket after he says she texted through the film and left him at the theater. 37-year-old Brandon Vesmer filed the claim last week, seeking compensation for a $17 movie ticket, plus $4 for pizza. He says the woman refused to stop texting, so he suggested she step outside. The woman then left the theater and never returned. Vesmer asked her later for the cost of the ticket, but she refused because, quote, "he took me on a date." As much as I love this story, I must know more about this $4 pizza. How good could it be? Somebody, get on that. More details hopefully next week. That's all for now. I'm spent. What is the world coming to? The weekly recap is brought to you by Price Chopper, Cooking from Scratch, the Travers Automotive Group, the UPS Store of Rolla, Beck Motors of Owensville, Bayer Dodge of West Plains, Hanging by a Thread, Mimi's Home Helpers, and Tailor Your Insurance.